DJD and Farmer.
Honey.
Hey.
And back there we've got Craig. What's up, Craig? And this is our first audio-only visual podcast that we decided to launch from this season. Yeah. So we decided we wanted to start adding a video, but we're not ready. So we're going to do audio only. So I would say it's the first audio-only visual podcast episode that we're doing. Yeah.
And so for the visual bit, just, you got to go out there and use your imagination.
Yeah.
So just, stretch out there and feel it.
I think it's important when you're making major changes to like transition, like bit by bit, incrementally, to like ensure a smooth transition. So
this is for the audience to kind of like, this is where you fill in the gaps, audience.
I love.
This is where they hear every single episode that we're going to be doing, like that. That we're launching a video podcast, but this is the audio only version of it.
Yeah. And they're like, "Oh, what do we? You know what? You need to become a super sponsor to get that video version of the podcast. That's what you got to do."
Yep. Go to our Patreon, and
oh my gosh.
Yeah. That's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. So we had this whole idea of like having a different game every season that we like kind of just are doing stuff in while we're doing the podcast. We had this whole fleshed out idea and then we just didn't do it. That's
life happened,
Life happened.
What can we say?
Yeah.
I have had a roller coaster of the last few days. And honestly, a roller coaster of the last few weeks because there's multiple things I've been wanting to talk about, and then we did not end up doing a podcast last week. How about everyone else?
Yeah, super busy. Honestly, it's been hardly been we've been home, but it's just been like we actually left on a quick trip, and yeah, it was a busy week.
I had so there was a huge ice storm here in certain parts of the states. It affected, I think, even the less directly affected like states when it came down to it, pretty significantly. I hear that it like snowed in certain places that it doesn't normally snow, but the ice was pretty insane here to the point where it was like 5 or 6 inches of solid ice. Because it like froze right away as it was falling and then froze together. And so like it was like literally blocks of ice. Like it was like sheets of ice just materializing. It was like someone cast an ice spell on the ground. And that was a huge pain for a number of reasons, but one of them was it iced my car in.
Oh,
and
man.
So the way that my lot is like right in front of my place is that it's like little like pebbles or whatever, which are usually great for like gripping because like snow like kind of like goes between them or whatever and all that, and like rain doesn't really affect them at all. But when they're all frozen together, it just creates like an impenetrable like wall that I can't quite get my tires up and over. So that was a fun 2 weeks dealing with that. But thankfully, I finally managed to get out of that area yesterday, actually. So I mean, yeah, it's been some time. It's been kind of crazy. I spent 2 weeks Ubering. That was kind of wild.
Wow.
2 weeks, like that is a lot.
Yeah.
Not only Ubering, but in the ice and the snow. That's
well, yeah,
wow.
And because like they didn't clear my neighborhood right away, I actually had to hike to the nearest like clear streets to get the Uber. So I actually had to walk like literally half a mile there and back every time. Just to
I feel like this is
dropped off.
Yeah, this is like a mini series, David. This is like, I mean, honestly, it would actually be pretty good. Off-road DJD, This is the good stuff right now.
I mean, the first 2 episodes would have been me like slipping on the ice, like and landing on my backside. Because that happened like 5 or 6 times. Yeah. which I never fall. Okay, there's two things that I never do. I never lose rock paper scissors in Divinity Original Sin, and I never fall. I occasionally slip, but I never fall. But this ice was just too much. Yeah.
I really love High Guard. That's it. That's the whole statement. The internet
It's
apparently it's an unpopular opinion because apparently everybody hates High Guard. Farm, do you like High Guard? I love High Guard.
I do. Me and David and I started playing it, I don't know, a couple weeks back, and I really enjoyed it. Like,
we only
the
did a
more I
couple
played
games,
it,
but yeah, it was fun. Yeah.
yeah, the more I played it, the more I enjoyed it. I actually got Hayden to install it. I don't know how he felt about it, but the next day we played it for a little bit, and yeah, no, I kind of enjoy it. I really enjoy it, actually.
So some people are like, I don't like how people describe it. So if you've heard, High Guard is the game that Jeff Keighley killed. Thanks, Jeff Keighley.
Well, how did
kind
you
of
kill
though?
it?
Kind of.
Kind of. You know what?
Yeah.
It's because it wasn't Half-Life 3, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
Sure.
Like,
yeah.
Jeff Keighley put it up and people. So first off, why are people talking about Half-Life 3 again? I thought we all gave up on that.
Because the Steam machine and everything, like the Steam box, like people are just convinced that it's going to come out with that. I don't necessarily know why.
There's a guy here, a friend of mine here, that keeps talking about it, and I'm like, have you not moved on? Like, it's not coming out. You know what? And I would love to eat my words a little bit here, but also, what benefit does Valve have to release it? Because there's just no way it can justify 22 years of development, right? There's no way. And so people have been waiting for this. People are talking about it again, and High Guard is not Half-Life 3, and so people just wanted to hate it. It's Anthem all over again.
Well, and for like, anyone who didn't see the Game Awards or anything, basically the problem is that there's always this one more thing, like announcement at the Game Awards that's like the last thing shown.
The encore
right?
announcement.
Yeah. And this year it was this game by the makers of Apex called High Guard, which Apex Legends, popular game. High Guard was not necessarily well received, and it was kind of like no one really kind of understood what they were looking at. It looked like another battle arena, of which we have like a lot, to be fair.
Well, it's like we were talking when we were playing it. It's like we were trying to describe what it was, but it was like it wasn't one thing. It was like several things, and then you kind of had to just give it the chance,
That's
Right.
something I
feel like what it
kind
was
of
doing.
liked. It reminded me
Me
of
too.
Invasion.
Yeah,
yeah.
Except that there is a portion where you don't just start defending and start attacking, right? There's this, okay, like depending on how you do depends on if you're attacking or defending. And I find it to be very fun. I
Yep.
love the game. I haven't played it so much recently because I've just been super stressed out, and playing shooting games like that doesn't help when you're super stressed. I've been playing Power Wash Simulator instead to try and keep it chill.
That's a good chill game for sure. Yeah.
But I love it. I love how dynamic it is. I mean, I think that
Yeah.
you could make some comments about. The only part I don't love is like the portion where you're out gathering stuff, and like before the Stormbreaker drops.
That's almost like the crafty, almost open world side of it in a way.
Yeah, that's the only part I don't love. But I've seen so many people be like, "Oh, it just doesn't feel inspired."
It's really
it just feels like it's just ripping off of these games, and it's not unique enough. And I just can't believe people say that when people are still playing Apex or Fortnite or Valorant, or
Sure.
what
Yeah.
Warzone
or CS:GO,
or CS:GO.
Yeah, well,
right?
well, they're stuck
'Cause
in
all of
that.
those are so inspiring, right? They're all
stuck
so
in that
unique.
rut, and they like that kind of like the circle of gaming that they're in. They don't want to try new things because they like the safe waters. Now, one thing about this whole thing in High Guard. Um, I mean, I don't know. Like you said, it's just different. It has elements that just kind of like you don't expect, and like the whole thing with the like even just traveling around your horse. I mean, that's just fun. I mean, why
Sure.
not? Why not
Like, I
just
mean, that's
try
the
it?
like that's my thing is like I feel like you take out any part of like the different phases in High Guard, and then you lose something that is fun in those phases, right?
Right.
Like if you take
Right.
out like the gathering portion, then you have that much less time of like riding around on your horse in the open world, and then you only have like that brief like chase phase, like the capture the sword kind of like
Right.
phase, which I don't think would be enough time. I think yeah, I think that they did a really good job of grafting a bunch of different elements together, and I think that they did do a pretty good job of like making at least like every phase have some elements that are fun.
Mm. No, I would
To the
agree. I
point
would
where,
agree.
yeah, uh, I think the transition is a little abrupt sometimes between phases.
Yeah, it can
Specifically,
be.
like when you start the raids, that can be a little abrupt. Like, but overall, yeah, no, I think it's a great game that just kind of like, man, like if they had not taken that Jeff Keighley promotion, which Jeff Keighley offered them because he really liked the game,
And he offered it for
apparently,
free. I'll throw that
he
out there. And I
offered it
get
for
it, right?
free. Yeah.
Hey,
And how do
you're
you
gonna
say
get
no to
this
that?
awesome spot at the Game Awards for free. It couldn't hurt, could it?
Right.
Right? It couldn't hurt.
But this game would have definitely gotten a way different reception if it was a shadow drop like it was originally planned to be, where nobody
Yeah.
knew it was coming and then it just like drops out of nowhere. Like, I mean, that would have been a really cool thing
Mm.
that I think would have gotten a lot more people excited as opposed to like waiting for multiple months, not hearing anything about this game for those multiple months, right? Like, or I guess like what, one full month, right? One and a half or
Right.
so, 6 weeks.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But like not hearing anything because they didn't have any kind of marketing plans.
Right.
Uh, and so like not knowing is it even still coming out? Because that's kind of weird. They haven't released anything. And then for like all the previews, like and the like reviews to come out on the same day as launch, which normally is kind of a worrisome thing, you know? Like, ugh, like, did they hold these back so that like it's too late for people to cancel their pre-orders or whatever? But no,
Right.
it was like literally just because they planned on shadow dropping like on that day. And like so they
Yeah,
wanted to try to keep it a secret for as long as possible, which I think would have worked really well for it. But like
But it's
instead you
also a
had like
free
hyped
game.
up expectations a little bit.
Oh yeah, super hyper.
And
Well, and
yeah.
like
Hmm.
yeah.
it's a
That's
great
like
game.
the
It's a great game. Just period.
so it was yeah. It's kind of like okay, they're gonna shadow drop it. Maybe not. You know, and I get what they're what in a way. It's like how can you say no to this promotion? Or I mean this them promoting it. They're the Game Awards. But
I'm
if
just
you're gonna
saying
do that, you got to follow. You got to
Jeff
follow up
Keighley,
on
if
it.
you want to promote an Avcast, I will
Don't
whip
do
up a
it.
trailer for you right now.
Don't do
Yeah,
it. Don't do it. It'll kill the
we'll allow you
podcast,
to do that.
man.
But
It'll
we just can't be silent after that. We can't just. Anyways, 3 months later,
yeah, it,
shadow drop our episode.
Yeah.
yeah. It'll kill the podcast, man. Like, and it's a bummer because it's a really fun game. Once you
Yep.
get into it, the first couple games I played with my son, we didn't enjoy it. Like I specifically, it was really hard. But once you get into it, and when the weapons feel good, the gunplay feels good. I like the characters. I like multiple of the characters, and also one of my favorite arguments is they're like, oh, like the heroes feel so generic, and it's like right because like the Valorant heroes aren't generic. Right, like, the starting
Right.
heroes of Apex weren't
Well, and
generic.
that's the thing too, is like the only reason they probably feel generic esque is because like these heroes do exist in other games. But like, I mean, like, how many archetypes of heroes can you have overall with so many like hero shooters out? You know, like
Yeah,
I think that's a
and
really
there's only
difficult thing
so
too.
many elements too. They can you got so if you're gonna have some kind of like abilities, you have a few, so many to choose from. But honestly, I really enjoy the ones that like how they put their own spin on it. Like all the characters that I played and their abilities, they all, have pretty much like an ability that can help your team, which is great. I really like that kind of like, um, the immersion of actually having skills that not only are beneficial to you individually, but also working as a team play.
Oh, 100%. Right? 100%. And at first, I really like defensive characters. And so I was playing as Kai, the ice guy, right?
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
then I had a challenge to play as some of the attacking characters. I actually really liked them. Like I was like, "Oh wow, like actually like this is really cool. Like they're really nice." It really changed, and so I started trying out more characters. It was a lot of fun. Like I don't know.
Well,
I
in
don't know.
day one, like when you install that, you can go into the range and like test out all these characters. There's a lot of games out there you don't have like any way to test without playing the game. So I thought that was pretty cool myself. Like
Yeah.
the range took a long time to come into play, if I remember correct. Well, maybe not. I don't know.
No, it did. It
Yeah.
did. It did.
Seemed like
Like at least in terms of like being like in its modern iteration or whatever. Like the original range for Apex sucked, and it also
yeah,
I
it
don't
was.
think it was there at launch. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. But
Well, there
also
was
like
a
that was the cool
tutorial, but
thing.
yeah, not the
Yeah.
range. Yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, and so they've built that. They've built a lot of that stuff on Apex to where we see it now. But like, yeah, having some of that stuff there and be able to test and be able to like go in there and just like figure these things out. I mean, there's a lot of golden nuggets there, honestly, and all these characters like to go in and have a lot of fun with.
So go play
Well,
High Guard. Go play High
and
Guard with an open mind. You know what I mean? Like
yep.
obviously if you're like, "Oh man, like I don't I was interested because of like the mix of fantasy and like this modern shooter and I wanted to have a good time and I had a good time. Like it's not a perfect game. I don't want to try and defend that and be like, "Oh, it's this or this," but it's not a bad game.
No, and it looks like they're gonna continue like pumping out content for it too. I mean, maybe not at the like rate that like Helldivers does, but like they have like 2 month seasons, which I feel like is pretty good. They have like a new weapon coming each one of those seasons. They have like multiple maps coming this year, it looks like, or something like that. Like, I mean, like it looks like and that's what the devs said even too. Like when they were interviewed was like, yeah, we did Apex for a while. We know what this like requires as a live service, and we're super excited to do it right. You know? I'm paraphrasing, but like that
Yeah, yeah.
gives me a lot of hope because like I mean like that was one of the things that Apex took a while to kind of find its like legs in terms of a live service game. And
Oh, for
most
Well,
live
sure.
that
service games do. I
and I
mean,
want to throw out there for Helldivers too. Yeah, like it seems that like oh they just dropped a warbond. Oh my gosh, they just dropped another warbond and all this stuff. But there is like gaps of like 4 months where they don't do any of that either. You know, like and maybe not 4 months, but there are gaps where they're not dropping stuff, and that's where I'm like going back and doing all these other warbonds. It just feels like they do big chunks at a time. They release big chunks kind of slowly, and then
Well, and I
they'll
can
take
kind of
a longer
appreciate that
break.
whole thing because again on these live service games if you're always coming back for something you're not able to experience the other things that you want to play, and so having that great balance, still bringing in the content but not like overdoing it and still having time to come back and do it, that's where that's the sweet spot, at least for me, so I can go play something else for a little bit and then come back.
Right, don't get burnt out on one game. But High Guard, it's so
right.
good. But then I will admit, if you don't have space in your life for another competitive shooter, right, and you only want to play one because you're so locked in, right? What is it? Like it's the sunk cost, right? Like you're
For
so
sure.
locked
Yeah.
into this, you have to keep doing it. I get it. But, as someone who really enjoyed Anthem, I mean all three of us did, right?
Yeah.
Like it would be
Rip.
my son really loves this game. It would be a huge shame for the game to not be able to continue, right? Because of like a not great opening, you
Right.
know?
Yeah. Or even just like the narrative around it. Like I mean, being so negative, like that would suck because essentially that did more harm to Anthem than even the flaws that Anthem had. was the fact that like, like a bunch of reviews had the headlines of like, yeah, it's not there yet, or it's a bad game or whatever because it didn't have like end game content. And yeah,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think what really hurt Anthem too is that they never got on it in
sure.
that
No,
sense
I
with the end game
agree.
content.
Yeah,
But it didn't help right out the gate to have your legs cut out from under you, especially in such like a competitive market to have like it sucks. I guess what I'm trying to like what I'm brushing up against is like the culture of like being super invested in the failure of something, right? And like talking crap about something. Like the amount of
for sure.
people I
Yeah,
was just telling people, "Oh man, I've been playing Hardgrade. It's so much fun." Everyone's like, "Oh, I heard that game's terrible. I've not played it. I've heard
right.
it's so bad." But
Yeah.
then it's
Mm.
even a free game. I can understand with Anthem, like you don't want to pay the money to try it, but Highguard is free. You can just download it and try it for
Yep.
free, you know?
And it seems like, I mean, like all the pay stuff is going to be cosmetics only and everything, which is what I love to hear. I mean, Helldivers being an exception, I guess, because of the way that Helldivers does it. But yeah,
Right, it's a little bit different with Helldivers, but
yeah.
um the but yeah, man, what was the other thing I wanted to talk about. So I had two things I really want to talk about. I want to talk about how Highguard's great, which would have been way more timely last week because the game had just come out. But here we are talking about Highguard. And the other thing I want to talk about is Steam came out and announced that they haven't announced the price of the Steam machine. Basically,
Oh, wild.
they came
I
they
saw
came out
that.
with an announcement that they haven't announced it.
I think I saw that like 2 days ago. I'm like, I'm sure Johnny's read this by now. I'm sure he's fuming.
Yeah.
And and I love that they're like, we're going to answer the questions y'all are asking, and then they just don't. They just like answer these questions that literally nobody's asking. The only question people are really asking is how much is it going to be and when is it coming out? And they're like,
Yeah.
hey, we know y'all, we know we haven't said this. We were planning on saying it, but we haven't said it yet. But we've decided to come out and answer some of your questions. And then it's just like nothing that anyone wants to know. So annoying. Oh my gosh. Um, so yeah. So I don't know. Am I gonna get a Steam machine? I want one so bad. I don't know. With the cost of RAM, I don't know. I don't know
I mean,
that
it
it's
all
gonna
depends
happen.
on how much they charge and if they actually have like any kind of like soon like release date. It might actually be that they have to push back like further and further. I mean, like who knows?
Well, they
We'll
are
see.
saying they want to have a release date this year, like early this year. They're saying they're still aiming to like ship and do all of that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And before we move on, I want to talk about a little quirk about myself that makes talking about tech stuff difficult, which is so like we all grew up, in the 90s. And for some reason, I referred to the storage of a computer as memory. How much memory does it have? Did you guys do this? Like whether it's like a computer or like an iPod or whatever, of like the amount of storage it has, however many gigs. Somehow in my personal vernacular when talking about it, I refer to that as memory, not storage.
Hmm. I'm sure at some point it was, everything was about memory back in the 90s for sure. And
Right.
I'm sure that, just kind of translate to the vernacular that most people have
Well,
used at that
and I'm
point.
saying that now that I called what we call storage. I called that memory, right? Because that's how much something can store. And then I would call RAM, RAM. That's just what I
Mm-hmm.
called it.
Mm-hmm.
But now all of the terminology is storage and memory. They talk about memory shortages, but they're talking about RAM. And like
Right.
what I call memory, they call storage. And now what I have, like what I've been calling RAM, they call it RAM too, but they mostly refer to memory as that. And
But
what I just want to know is, has it always been like this and I've just been weird, or did something change?
Well, I think part of it is kind of marketing and how they wanted to handle it. But honestly, when you think about it, I mean, your random access memory or RAM is is pretty much storage, just at a it's not a capacity that it's going to retain it. Random access memory is stuff that gets eventually written over, and you get use it again, so you can quickly access it. So I mean, when it comes down to it, it is memory, it is storage. It's just how it's used.
Right, but I'm just wondering, was I weird referring it to that way? Did you guys refer to stuff that way? Was it just me? Or was there a
I think it.
change in
No, I
marketing
think
of
I
like how they
definitely.
call stuff?
Yeah, I
I,
definitely use storage and memory interchangeably for sure.
yeah,
I
but I
guarantee
think
you.
that was a product of like just the fact that technology was like relatively like I don't know, like that level of differentiation was like pretty new, you know? Like I feel like as time goes on, like there's more specificity to things.
Right,
Uh,
like there weren't
yeah,
GPUs before, right? That's a
sure, yeah,
thing,
Yeah,
yeah,
and it
yeah.
wasn't a
yeah,
thing back then, which sounds
yeah.
weird to
It's
say.
like its whole whole thing.
It makes you sound super old to be like there wasn't that before, and but yeah, now yeah.
Or like the
So
laptop that I just had to like recycle basically was the last apparently the last gaming laptop before they introduced like GPU memory, right? And so it became like literally just
Outdated
completely outdated
immediately.
in like 6 months. Yeah. Where it just didn't matter. Despite like spending $1,000 on it back then. Yeah.
That's
I
like
think
my
one of
wife
the
and I
things,
bought laptops at the same time. We both bought Apple laptops, like really a year apart. But she ended up getting an Intel MacBook, and I got like the M series, like Apple Silicon MacBook, and was
Oh,
just
sure,
like
yeah.
so much farther ahead of hers, and it really was like less than a year even between them, and
yeah,
we paid the same amount of money. It's just like,
that
oh,
that was the crazy thing about that time is like how drastically things were changing at that speeds up in the late 90s, early 2000s, like drastically. Like especially like RAM would come. Oh, 64 is the new thing. Now it's 128. Now we're 256. We're cooking, baby. Um, I just remember those things being like it was just within 6 months or rather quick. And now we kind of more planed off. It's not as drastic. I think Johnny. One of the things that kind of made us maybe even refer to like storage as memory. If you remember back in like PlayStation, well, N64 days around that era, they would actually for like saving would actually have those memory sticks or
right,
memory
memory
cards that
cards,
they called
bro.
it. So I think
Yeah.
I think that was part of it because that
Yeah.
that
No,
wasn't
I would agree.
random
Yeah.
storage. That was actual storage that you were saving your
Right.
save files on. And I
Yeah.
think that's what translated it for us a little bit there.
That's a great
Well, yeah,
point actually. Yeah.
yeah, man. And now you can still get a memory card for your Xbox, and it costs like $300
Yeah.
or however much. It's some ridiculous amount, however much it costs. If you want to get the Seagate one, good
Or you
lord.
can go back and get a nostalgic piece of software or hardware like old N64 for about the same price.
No, I mean, I just
Depends on
yeah.
what you want.
I had this terrible issue last week where I almost like was just like, I'm done. I'm leaving Xbox over it while David was on live with me.
Yeah.
Where I talked about my new setup where my son's has Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, and
Right.
now my Xbox is his home Xbox, so I can have Ultimate, and then his Xbox is my home Xbox, so he can access my games and stuff. And then but for that month, I technically still had Game Pass, so like it was just kind of waiting for that to run out. And Farm, the day it ran out, like when it ran out, I could not play online multiplayer, even though I had Game Pass.
What?
Game Pass was working. I could play a Pass game, but it would not let me play an online multiplayer game unless it was like a free to play game. And we could not. I like re-changed network settings. I was restarting my Xbox. I was doing all this stuff, and it's like the Game Pass is working because I'm playing games that I don't own that are only on Game Pass. But when I tried to like load into Helldivers, which I own, but I need an internet connection or to play multiplayer, it was not letting me do it. I was getting so annoyed, and I was like, if this does not fix, like I'm done. And David and I worked on it for over an hour, right, D? We were working on that.
Yep. Yeah, we
And
were trying to troubleshoot it, and it was just an unfixable glitch. Stupid. Like, yeah.
and then literally 2 hours later, I went and taught a class, and I came home and I tried it again, and it was working fine. So all of that stress, all of that
Yeah.
frustration, all of this like existential, like, am I gonna leave Xbox? Like, I've been an Xbox gamer my whole adult life. Am I gonna just go full in on Steam and walk away? I'm like freaking out, thinking like it sounds funny, but like thinking about it, I was like, wow, and then it just fixed itself, so everything's fine. No, no, don't worry about it. Everything's okay. It do be that way sometimes.
Well, like, what can you do with glitches? Like, you can basically wait for them to get resolved, and that's pretty much it. Like, or just give up. Yeah, and yeah. But it was very clear that like this isn't the way that this is supposed to be. So
Yeah.
that was the frustrating part.
Yep. And it's always it seems like those glitches always happen to you at the least opportunity moment, It's like, come on. I have this window, and then that's going to happen. Like,
Oh,
that's just how
100%.
that's how they work. It's how bugs work. They
100%, right? Most days I don't even play Xbox. So like that could have happened and I wouldn't have even known. But like the one time I'm playing Xbox, literally in weeks, it ended up happening. And then I couldn't play Xbox. I was just like spending the whole time like just in menus and stuff. Well, but Dee, do you
But
have
I mean,
anything you
like,
want to cover this week before we move
essentially
on?
all Xboxes are going to be PCs eventually. So I guess we should just get ready for like the troubleshooting now. I mean,
That actually does. I'm not excited about that. I'm going to be
yeah.
honest with you.
My hope is that they like retain like the ease of use, the accessibility of consoles,
Mm.
uh, and that you don't have to do too much like finicking with it, But we'll see.
You mean
Some
you don't
people
want
like
to you don't want to try to troubleshoot all the driver problems that could occur?
I really don't.
That is
Like,
one thing
man,
that I
and
do hope. Like, hey, here's the structure. We've got it down. This is what you do, and we've figured out these games. They will work with this hardware, and do it like this, and then that way people will have like that basic console feel to it, where you're able to play all these games without that hassle. Because that is the thing about PC. It's a huge hassle. It's
it is,
not
yeah.
always a problem, but when it is a problem, it is a huge headache, and you have to go down this crazy rabbit trail of figuring out what in the world to do. And sometimes you can fix it, and sometimes you just can't. There's no
Well,
there's no
not like,
fixing it.
I mean, I would say that I am, like, I'm not entirely like without my ability to like deal with tech generally, like above average in terms of troubleshooting tech. And I would say you are too, Farmer. And I would say Johnny is too, even. But like when it comes down to like PC problems, like sometimes it's just like such a like ridiculous, stupid problem. Or like it's literally just like a setting like somewhere that you didn't even know existed. Like there's just so many different like cogs in a machine, so to speak, that like it's really, really difficult to like figure out which one is causing the problems. It's really difficult to isolate problems and then solve them.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
I
Well,
feel
yeah,
like it
especially when you
happens
have
all the
multiple
time.
factors. It's
yeah.
just like so many different ways. Well, it's like my whole thing with my PC, how long it like I can't even tell you how long it took me to just isolate these problems just because you got like 5 or 6 different working components at one time
This
and
would
you
be a
just
great
don't
time for
know.
Farmer's computer to die.
Uh
He
Oh
leaves the
my
podcast,
gosh.
right? Like this would be good just to like hammer that point home. I
uh
feel like it happens all the time. I I can't like do anything and on my Steam Deck works great when I'm playing a single player game by myself. As soon as other stuff starts to get involved, now it's like, okay, here we go. Like, oh, is it this? Is it this setting? Is it this? Oh, I have to do this. Oh, for this to work. You know what doesn't work on PC on the Steam Deck farm? MCC. You can play solo, but you can't play like co-op. Like it just won't load. It
Hmm.
like it crashes
Like
every single
local
time.
co-op, like between on
No,
that
no, no. Like
device.
online co-op on
Oh,
Steam in
gotcha.
MCC. It just won't load on the Steam Deck. You can play solo just fine, but like if you want to play co-op, like it won't do it. And it's just
Well,
like it.
MCC has issues with co-op anyways across the board. Like you can play, Xbox to Xbox, but anytime you try to do Xbox to PC, there's only a few games that you can do that with anyways, but that whole peer-to-peer architecture is really bad. And that's one of the reasons why they're doing, they're starting over with Halo
But it's
Combat Evolved.
PC to PC. It's
Yeah,
PC to PC.
it's
Why
That's
is
the
that's
thing.
that's
That's
been
the
worse.
thing that's
I don't
really
know why, but
frustrating. Yeah.
this
PC
is
to
the
PC
problem
is
with PC?
worse.
You know what I love about having a PC? So like also Chiho's dealing with this, like working with Adobe stuff, is PC players act like they're so incredible and they're so much better than you, and having a PC is so great. Oh my gosh. Oh, like you play on console? Oh, gross, disgusting. Oh man, PC master race, all this stuff. And it's just like literally nothing works. And as soon as like a PC
There you
player
go.
starts doing something, they have to like rip their PC apart. They're like, "Oh, hold on, I can fix it. Oh, I know what to do with
True.
this.
Give
I
me a
know how to
week,
fix
I
this."
can fix it.
And they're like, "Oh man, let me get in here." And I'm like, "This is why I love Apple. This is why, because most of the time it just works." And you know what? They're like, "Oh, but you can't customize this. You can't do this." Yup, and that's okay. That's okay. As long as it works when I turn it on, it's not really a problem. Like it just drives me crazy. So in that sense, I don't even know that I want the Steam machine. Now that we're talking about it, like that sounds like I'm just
He's
buying
talked himself
myself
out of it.
a stress box. But also it does
That's
look
stress
cool.
box.
It's a stress box, right?
Yeah.
Like, but also it does look cool. And if I get it, then I don't have to buy a PS5. I can play games on there. So that would be kind of cool
True.
too.
Yeah.
Be kind of cool. And it's a PC, right? So I could do other stuff with it too. In theory, it's Linux. People like Linux for some reason, But I don't know. Farm, you're a PC gamer now. You're not even a console gamer anymore. You're a PC gamer nowadays, aren't you?
I mean, back and forth. It's probably like 50-50 these days.
To be honest, the main reason I buy games for Farmer on Xbox is to keep them like tethered to Xbox.
Mhm.
I play my Xbox when I jump into Halo most of the time. It's on there. Apex. And a bunch of like single player games that I've been playing just have been on there. But I anytime I do almost anytime I do anything with my brother these days, it feels like it's on the PC because that's where he's gone. So it's his fault. But yeah. No, I mean, again, I'm 50-50. I still like my Xbox. I still like my controller in my hand, but I do like bridging the gap of where I came from, because most of us started on the PC playing like well, at least I did with Combat Evolved. I was a PC gamer on that side of it. And so it's kind of been nice to get back to the mouse and keyboard a little bit, but I mean, there's something special about the gamepad. It's something about the controller that I love in my hand whenever I'm playing like competitive Halo. So that'll never go away.
Literally, our Navs here Christian Halo server.
Yep, that's right. So yeah, no, you won't see me go away from Xbox ever completely. I don't think. It's just. I mean, we're in interesting waters right now, so we just have to
Xbox
see.
is becoming a service, like when it comes down to it too.
Yeah,
Xbox
I can play on my
is
TV
every device
wherever I
or
go.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, but like on that, one of the things I told David is I feel like there was a time I would have been like, there's no way I'm ever going to leave Xbox. It's never going to happen, right? I'm too bought in. I don't
Right.
feel that way anymore.
Sure.
If there's this weird time with gaming where I'm not super happy with the moves Xbox has been making. I've not been playing Xbox as much. Maybe it's because of crossplay now too. It's funny because we had that whole discussion of like, oh, like, less exclusives or whatever, or crossplay, or it's devaluing this or devaluing this. But it kind of is, because I'm kind of like, well,
Kind of is.
I
Yeah.
mean, I can still play games with you guys if I buy a PlayStation. I can still play Halo. I mean, coming up soon, I'll be able to play Halo with you guys on PlayStation.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
I can play it on PC. Like, I don't need to do that. I mean, when's the last time we were in an Xbox Live party? You
It's
know,
been a bit. It's been a bit.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Yeah.
and so there is something to it of like I've been thinking, or at least especially when I'm having an issue with Xbox, I'm like maybe I should just maybe this is a jump off point. And I say that, I mean, because that's where I was with PlayStation, right? I was a PlayStation user up until PlayStation 3. And that's where I bailed, right? So I don't know. I don't know, guys. The
I think I'll go where, games are. And I'm fortunate enough to like, this is my main, like, I don't know. I don't want to say hobby because that sounds derivative. I would say it's more than just a hobby, but like,
It's a way of life, baby.
it's a significant portion of my life, and it's like I plan on continuing to kind of prioritize, the expenditure into the investiture into
Actually, D, can
this
we walk
passion
that
of
back
mine.
a second? Can we
Sure.
walk that back a second? Because I think hobby is a good word for it. Living in Japan, everybody has like some kind of hobby that they take pretty seriously, that they do,
Sure.
and they're like into it and they do. I think of one of my students, he would say, if you asked him what's your hobby, he would say golf. He plays golf once a week, and he's been playing with like his same four friends since like high school, and he's like in his 60s now, and they play every week, the four of them together, or every 2 weeks if they can't make every week, you know? And he's pretty good, and he would just say it's a hobby. So I think that, you know, if you think of a hobby like that, of like, this is something I love to do, and, I mean, it's a big part of his life, you
Yeah.
know? Like,
I don't
I
know
think
why, but I just
it's not
have
bad.
like I don't know. I have a cavalier like connotation when it comes to like hobbies. I guess
It
I don't
sounds
know
cute, right?
where
It's like, no,
it
it's not
sounds
like a
like
cute thing.
it
It's
sounds
like, this is important.
unserious.
Right.
Like I mean, like yeah. But yeah, I would say like gaming will probably continue to be a part of my life, and I'll probably continue to invest in like uh that hobby of mine. And so like I'm fortunate enough that like if I choose to you know, uh, rank it like appropriately, that I will continue to like have the various like platforms where games come out on, which I think is cool. Uh, but like anything, you kind of have to prioritize the things that you like care about and invest if you want to like have the access that you want, and like I guess it all comes down to how much you value it, right? And so
Right. And I suppose actually it would be cheaper just to buy a PS5 and play PS5 games than it would be to buy a PC and just move to PC. Like
And
to have a
also, like,
PS5
who
and an
knows when the
Xbox.
new consoles are coming too, and why get a new console right before, like, why get an old console right before the new ones? Like that's kind of tough. Like, I don't know.
Ooh, before we finish, this is a good thought exercise here. I realized in my adult life, I have always had the current gen,
Sure, yeah.
right? From PS3 onwards, even PS2. So even before adult life, but like Xbox 360, Xbox One, Xbox Series. What about you, Farm? Have you always been on current gen since you've been on consoles?
Oh, pretty much. I mean, since well, really the 360 days, because I didn't, Xbox first generation. I wasn't even around. I was on the PC then, but
Mm-hmm.
when pretty much Halo 3, when everything swapped and everybody's, Xbox is like, okay, you gotta to play Halo 3, you've got to get an Xbox, and it was like I even got it late. I think I got it like 6 months later or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was behind the times of playing Halo 3 and all that. But once I got it, it's just like this whole new, this whole new world, and we were doing all the co-op stuff and everything. It's just like it opened us up to a whole different thing outside of the whole PC gaming, where we could only do one player at a time. We'd watch each other, or we'd have to take turns. Where this,
Sure, yeah.
yeah, where now we have something that we can actually do co-op or even up to 4 controllers. So it just kind of changed the landscape. And so from there, it was like, okay, I've got to get consoles to play all the Halo games the way I want it to play. And ever since then, I pretty much had, I think, just about every generation. Yeah, 360,
And
Xbox One, Xbox One S, Xbox One Scorpio Edition, up to where we're at, Series X.
and you too, D, right? You've been on the current platform since your adult life.
Yeah. PlayStation 5 was my first foray back into PlayStation, but like other than that, yeah.
Well, I would say even on, let's just stick even like I didn't own
Like
every
having
generation
a
of
current gen
Nintendo, but
platform
I've
at
I've
all
always
times,
been
sure.
on a
Yeah.
current gen.
Yeah.
It blows me away the amount of people I know here who like games. They say they like games. They would say gaming's their hobby, who are still playing PS4.
That is kind of wild.
It actually, like, Switch and Switch 2, sure, the Switch 2 just came out. Like the PS5, hasn't the PS5 been out for like 5 years now?
Yeah.
And it's
I
interesting
think
to
longer than that
see
been
even,
that
but
yeah.
there
yeah.
hasn't been releases that would push these people to get PS5s, that they just they have a PS4, maybe they want to get a PS5, but they would even call themselves gamers. And this isn't like, this is kind of like reflection on myself, right? I'm not passing judgment on them for not having the current gen. It's more like, oh wow, like there's like a whole group of gamers that aren't doing that, you know, that
Right.
aren't getting the new console immediately. And I mean, again, 6 years. Is it 5 years or is it 6 years? Does anyone know when the PS5 was released? What was the release date of the PS5?
Uh, uh,
It had to be It had to be at least in 2019, because I
yeah.
remember like that was a
So that
comment when
that would
Endgame came
be
out,
that would be more
because
like
people were like they would be
7
playing
years,
PS5.
6, 7 years almost. Then we're pushing on the
Okay,
7th year,
oh no, it came out in 2020.
2020. Yeah,
Because it was the whole COVID thing. Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah,
And everybody was snatching them up and then reselling them. That's right. That's how can we forget that?
but that it's been 6 years since COVID too. You know what I mean? Like, and it's
Yeah, that's kind
interesting
of crazy.
that people don't all like, because I'm just surprised by that. And I'm like, wow, like, are we in like even this more niche group of people who are playing on current gen? Because apparently there's like a much wider audience that just doesn't, which kind of blows me away. To be honest with you, like actually blows me away. Um, because like my Xbox One, I have an Xbox One X right now under my desk, like not plugged in any. It's just there, right, just chilling.
Yeah. I mean, well, and we've talked about this like off cast as well. But when it comes down to it, like there just haven't been a ton of games that like really necessitate being current gen right now. Like even the Switch 2 is running into this, right? Like they just had an earnings call, I think like what, last month or something? Or
Mm.
like maybe this month, like a couple weeks ago or something, where like they literally had to address like the fact that like, like sales aren't quite where they were kind of expecting the Switch 2 to be. Uh
Right,
but
I can't
like
even buy one in Japan, but sure, they're not selling them.
yeah.
Sure, I can't get my hands on one here, but okay, sure, continue.
But
Thanks, Nintendo.
But a big part of that is like they don't really have the games to really force you to go to Switch 2 when it comes down to it. Not right now. Like uh, even Pokemon, the latest Pokemon game was like still on Switch 1, you know?
True. Well, you know what's funny is I actually have been thinking about that. If I should I just buy it on Switch One instead of on Switch Two? I
Yeah.
heard it even runs better than like Scarlet and Violet did.
Is that a high bar or is that
No, no, no. I guess it's a low bar that Scarlet and Violet didn't run well, but like in the sense of like I didn't think about, obviously with Scarlet and Violet, I just got it. I wasn't like, oh no, we should play it on next gen, right?
Sure. Yeah, yeah,
Like, and
yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
oh, actually, maybe it's fine, you know?
Yeah. And then like Metroid didn't do fantastic in terms of reviews. Uh although I know a lot of people who like really enjoyed it, so I mean, I don't know. Like reviews aren't necessarily always indicative of how good a game is, as we all know. But or how much enjoyment can be found in a game for that matter.
And so here's the other problem. So I say you can't get a hold of one, right? I have found one, a Mario Kart 2 bundle Switch 2 that I can just buy right now. But here's the problem. Like you said, there's not a lot of games for it. So like, should I even buy it?
Right. Yeah. Well, and I think like it's kind of crazy that the Xbox Series and the PS5 have been out as long as they have, and like also have that problem. You know, like they've been out for 6 years or 5 or whatever, 5 plus. Um, and they're just I don't necessarily know that like I would push someone to like hop on next gen. I really don't. Uh, there's a few games, I guess, but like by and large, like there's still a lot to play on previous gen that's still supported. Like, eh.
Right. That's still supported, right? And yeah, I don't know. And like, I think I just want to buy something expensive. That's why I want the Switch 2, because it's like, am I even going to play it? I don't even know. You know, what am I going to play on it? I think for me, it's that I actually have like an original Switch one, right? Like the one that you can like mod and stuff. Like I have a really
Oh,
old one.
sure. Yeah.
So I'm like, do I want a Switch 2 or what? Do I just want like a Switch OLED? You know, would that like scratch the same itch for me of just it's a different device? You know.
I got my Switch one pretty early on, but apparently, like an update like made it like moddable or whatever.
Yeah. But on that note, you guys have any comments before we wrap up? Got a bit of a long podcast today.
No comments, just many
No comments.
questions.
Play High Guard. Everyone, go play High Guard. And also, if you have negative things to say about High Guard, shut your mouth. How about that?
Go play high guard, and yeah, actually, let's not judge it by any other game. Just go in and enjoy it
Yeah,
for what
go
it
play
is.
High Guard and tell us how you feel like it's unoriginal, and then go back to Fortnite. Right? Like, go ahead, go do that.
Not
Go
not
do
just
that.
Fortnite. Go play those side games that everybody likes to play. You know, people are actually making new things. Let's enjoy new things.
Yeah, let's do it. And you know
Just
what?
enjoy
Also,
things in general
the
when you
first
can.
like battle pass type thing, they're calling them war chests, is free. So if you download the game, you'll
That's
get the
true.
first
Yeah.
war chest for free. The game is free. You're getting a lot there. You don't even have to pay them. Anyway, have a good one, guys. We'll see you later. And oh, and also thank you guys so much for enjoying this audio only video podcast.
Yeah.
We'll see if
visuals
we have
coming
another
next week. Pending.
We'll see if we have another audio only visual podcast, or if we have a visual podcast. We will see. Anyway, bye. Get out of here, Craig.